It is really hard to talk about this kind of topic, especially when considering the fanboys or fangirls of these movies. It's pretty insane, and so a lot of people will be triggered. I will say this: a lot of people will be triggered because it's really hard to talk about Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially when I am having a different opinions about these movies than everyone else on the planet, basically. Because if you say one thing negative about these movies, then you're the world's biggest loser, world's biggest loser, misogynist, worst human being in the possible. Like fucking hell, guys, chill out. Like, this is one of my problems I have with some of the modern cartoon community I have. When people defend modern day cartoons, especially with the cheap animation and whatnot, and when you talk about some of these shows, it's really hard to, talk about it when people get easily triggered by this kind of shit. So, in this video, I will tell you about my personal, things I have noticed about Marvel Cinematic Universe, the problems I have with Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I will try my best to actually explain this. And yeah, some people, like I said, people will get triggered. So let's begin, shall we? Before I get killed off by the Marvel Cinematic Universe fanboys. So yeah, number 1, generic movie soundtracks. When you think about live action movie Spider-Man, what is the first theme song you will ever think of? Yep, the infamous and famous, well-known Danny Elfman's music from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. Now that sound, when you watch these movies, the intro itself just hypes you up and you're in this amazing journey. What do Marvel Cinematic Universe intros have? Hear the crickets, because I do not remember a single track except for Spider-Man Homecoming's intro theme, because basically they just remixed the Amazing Spider-Man's music from 1960s, I believe. But every soundtrack, I feel like in this Marvel Cinematic Universe, feels exactly the same. They feel really generic, they never change, and it is kind of disappointing because when you think about other older movies, their soundtracks like Alien, Terminator, X-Men, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and even some of the older Batman movies, especially with Tim Curran as Batman. I think it was Tim Curran. I'm so bad with names, I'm sorry. But you can remember these soundtracks they have with these movies. But what do you actually remember from the Marvel Cinematic Universe soundtracks? Basically the same orchestrated music you hear in every single movie, especially nowadays, that is. But that is my biggest complaint I have with these movies, because they use the same generic music soundtracks for these movies, and it just feels kind of bland, and I don't know what it is, because I feel like I feel like they really need to step up with these soundtracks, man. Like, I do not remember, like, when I hear some of these Marvel Cinematic Universe soundtracks, I can't tell the difference which each movie had the same soundtrack, which this other movie has the soundtrack. Basically, they feel like they sound the same, and that is my biggest complaint, and one of my biggest complaints I have with Marvel Cinematic Universe. I have more to come, so don't you worry. You will have my head anytime soon, guys. So another problem I have with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, number 2. The movies focus more on action rather than characters. Now, some people might believe I'm biased with this because people might throw shit at me like breaks or whatever, or hate comment, like writing me hate comments. I already can tell there are hate comments that are coming on my way, and some people say, what are you fucking talking about? Marvel Cinematic Universe always focuses on character development. You're just sadist. You're just a DC fanboy. You're just a hater. Like, I never said I hate the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, and I'm saying I'm a DC fanboy. I love both Marvel and DC equally. I just want things to be balanced with these types of products, advertisements, whatever, like with these stories. And one of my biggest complaints I have with Marvel Cinematic Universe is that it focuses a lot on action rather than focusing on the characters. What do I mean by that is that it really barely focuses on, balancing out the regular lives of these characters, of these heroes. Focusing on their regular name, regular lives, what they are dealing with. The only movie I can think of that actually does this is, I think, the first Iron Man movie and Captain America: The Winter Soldier. But and there was also this one scene in Age of Ultron, but that is it. And I kind of am disappointed that it doesn't focus on, establishing the characters, their personas. They're more focusing on, what they can do, what awesome shit they can do. One of the things I love about Marvel, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies and the Fox's X-Men movies is the fact that it focuses more on, the characters, what they represent, and what kind of personalities they have before they're showing the actual action. Of course, without action, you don't have a superhero movie. But I kind of wish with these superhero movies they can balance out these, especially with nowadays, they should balance out, both, the character, the guy behind the suit, and the character outside from suit. Now, this might be a minor nitpick, but as I love action as much as anyone, especially when it comes to superhero movies and anything superhero related. But I feel like it doesn't, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it doesn't do that much, and I feel like they should really try to do that more with their movies. And that is one of the things I really don't like about these movies. Another thing, third one, too many characters.
Guys, stop! You're giving me too many options. I'm only one man here.
One of my biggest problems with Marvel Cinematic Universe is the fact that they just throw in more fucking characters in these movies. That it is insane. I understand they want to build up this amazing, building these characters together, but they just rush that shit in, and I feel like it is a bad thing. They don't, when they're making, one of the reasons why I'm a bit annoyed with Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man movie, and Spider-Man Homecoming is the fact that, first of all, it doesn't focus on, it kind of focuses on the character of this movie, because the movies are called Ant-Man and Spider-Man, but also with Thor Ragnarok as well. But the problem is the fact that they just hammer in the Avengers in these movies so much that it is ridiculous. It's like with these Disney corporation whatnot, they just want to, I feel like they're doing these movies more for advertisement rather than, establishing the individual character in the movie. And they're just like, hey, you want the Avengers? You want to know the Avengers exist? Well, there you go, we're throwing Iron Man, the Hulk, and Hawkeye, whatever, Avengers. There you go. There are Avengers. Like, focus on this character. You're making a movie for a single regular character, single superhero character. Don't throw in Avengers in these movies. Yes, Avengers are cool and all, but we want to watch a movie about this single character. What he deals with, like, what is his motive? What villains is he facing on his own? One of my and don't get me started on the villains. I will get to that when I get to that. And this is like biggest problem I have. Like, if you want to make a solo superhero movie or double superhero movie or whatever, focus on the singular characters. Focus on their story. Don't throw in just freaking Avengers in there, man. Like, don't hammer in Avengers. We know Avengers exist there, but we need to focus on on the singular character, what he deals with, what she deals with. And yes, Avengers are cool, but focus on that singular character. Make a movie about that character. We don't need fucking Avengers in every single movie. God damn it. I'm sorry, I'm a bit of a rant there, but yeah, this is a rant video, so yeah. What else? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Age of Ultron is the biggest issue with hammering characters in there. The movie is about the Avengers, but the movie's pacing is so bad. They just want to hammer in more characters like Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Vision, Hawkeye's family, Ultron. Like, fucking hell, guys. Too many characters. So yeah, number 4. Number 4. Number four. I'm trying to think of. I know there is one thing I really want to mention. I think a lot of people might agree with this one, but I have like 2 more options. I have 2 complaints I have with Marvel Cinematic Universe. I just forgot the other one that I have, because the other one I will try to keep it last. Okay, where was I? Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I tried to remember. First one was generic music. Second one, if more action rather than more action than. Oh yeah, now I remember. Number 4, forced comedy. Now, I'm not saying Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't need comedy. It can work if it doesn't feel forced. And when I more watch these movies, the more I feel like the jokes they throw in these movies feel really forced. And I like comedy if it is written well. But if you want to make a comedy for a superhero movie, just don't hammer that shit in. Don't make it forced. And this is one of my biggest complaints I have with Spider-Man Homecoming. It focuses more on humor rather than character development, action, whatever. And people might hate that I hate Homecoming or whatever, but like, comedy is fine if you balance it out well. And with Marvel Cinematic Universe, sorry, I just kind of ate lunch. I was like picking around McDonald's or whatever. Sorry, off topic here. And yeah, but with this Marvel Cinematic Universe, the comedy is for a lot of movies feels really forced, and I feel like they should not do this. Like, try to balance it out, both comedy and and you know, the humor, because you know, because if you make the comedy feel forced, people might forget what kind of movie are they watching. Are they watching a comedy, or are they watching a superhero movie? Like I said, I'm not saying Marvel, you know, Marvel movies don't need humor. DC just dropped humor out the window for whatever reason, and even if they make humor, they just make it cringy or whatever. But you know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel like the comedy is being a little bit forced, and I feel like I really want, you know, these movies to balance out these things. Don't make these comedic moments really forced, and try to take your time. If you want to make a joke, and if you don't feel like it is too cringy, maybe make it, but you know how Disney is with their, you know, decisions and whatnot in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well. But you know what? Yeah, that is one of the other things I don't like about Marvel Cinematic Universe. And number five thing I don't like about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and one thing I don't really like about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the villains are bland. Basically the villains. Trying to remember supervillains in Marvel Cinematic Universe. Trying to tell me a memorable supervillain. Of course, Loki. Loki, the fangirls. Like, I feel like Loki at this point is there for fan service and nothing more at this point. Like, but also there was Thanos, and that is it. Like, a lot of people say we had Ultron, we had Winter Soldier, and yeah, but Ultron was really advertised badly, and I wouldn't exactly call Winter Soldier a villain. I might even call him as an anti-hero, to be honest, because now he's a full-fledged hero for whatever reason now, but oh my god. The balancing between good and evil, that is the most essential thing to make for a superhero genre, for any action-oriented genre. And Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't do that. Some people say, I'm biased, I'm a piece of shit, I do not understand complex villains. What complex villains? Ultron was a joke. I barely even remember Zemo's motive, and Bone Crusher? Who? What was his goal? Like, why was he here? Why was he there? To rival Captain America? Do you see where I'm going with this? I have nothing to say about these villains because they're really forgettable. Like, I'm sorry about the awkward pause, but it is true. They are really forgettable villains. The only villains I can really consider, you know, good are the Vulture, I think, in Spider-Man Homecoming, and Thanos from Infinity War. And that is it. And I didn't really yeah, Loki's performance in the first Avengers movie was also fine, but that is it. Other villains are just, I feel like they're just there. They're just there, and they really are barely memorable. One of my biggest problems is the fact that they're really focusing on making Thanos this big bad guy without establishing the other villains. It's like they pick up a page from a comic book and read the villain profile or something from like a ID card or whatever, and they're like, well, we know everything about the villain, fuck the other comics, we're gonna make that into a villain. Like, there's no other way to explain how the thought process goes with these supervillains. making an intimidating villain for the heroes is essential. We need a balance between good and evil. And the evil in MCU is so lackluster, so bland, that it is really laughable at this point. Like, what do you remember about the villain from Ant-Man? What do you remember about him? What's that? Eh? No, you did not remember anything about the villain except he had a cool suit? Well, what a fucking surprise! And because of these bland villains, there is lack of consequence, which is like a number 6 or honorable mention I have with my problems with the MCU is the lack of consequences. These characters barely feel any, like, there's barely any emotion with these movies. Yes, in Infinity War a lot of characters died, but we know they're gonna come back anytime soon because they don't take a break with these movies. They just keep milking the franchise until there's nothing left. They don't take a break and try to establish the character, and that is a big problem. Without good villains, without memorable villains in these movies, there's nothing. There is absolutely nothing. And that is my top 5 problems I have with the MCU or Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know I'm gonna get a shit ton of dislikes, I will get a ton of hate comments or whatever, but I really needed to say these things because I can't call myself a human being if I don't see the flaws these movies have and don't criticize them, don't try to criticize them to help, you know, these people who make these movies to improve their own movies. And how can we call ourselves human beings if we don't criticize something and don't notice the flaws some movies, shows, music, whatever have? If we don't do that, then there's nothing to improve anymore, and there are people and people wonder why people nowadays are becoming dumber, because people just don't try anymore. They just rush things and boom, there you go, give us the fucking money. And yeah, money is important, but it's not everything. The most important thing is also creativity, passion, doing your best to make something, and yeah, those are really important things, not just money. And I understand money is important, but I'm always having this kind of discussion with the whole, you know, greed thing with my parents, but they don't know. But like I said, they don't listen because they think I'm biased or I'm telling bullshit. But greed is corrupting society as a whole, and I've been telling this a lot of times. But it is really true. Greed has corrupted society. It has corrupted filmmaking, it has corrupted animation studios, it has corrupted even music industries, and it basically has corrupted the entertainment industry as a whole. And that is a big problem I have with these big companies, Hollywoods, Cartoon Networks, whatever, and the fact that they are just becoming greedy and they don't want to try to make something memorable, something original, something creative, and yeah, that is a real shame. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my top 5 things I don't like about Marvel Cinematic Universe. Title needs work, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like this video if you actually agree with my points I have with Marvel Cinematic Universe. Share this video with others to actually, you know, point out the problems that I actually noticed. Maybe some other people also notice with these movies, and subscribe if you guys really want to, because it will really help me a lot, because I want things to improve. I don't want them to be, you know, becoming lazy and unoriginal anymore. So yeah, see you guys later, and wish me luck, because I probably will get chased after by the MCU fanboys and probably be strangled by some assassin or something. So yeah. See you guys later.